Okay, I have a new effect to share with you today. You'll need 16 cards. As you can see, I have a good selection of card values, suits, and colors. And then we'll need the Joker. Joker is going to help us out here. Okay, so we're going to have you mix the cards to a degree that will just blow your mind, actually. The first choice I need you to make is we're going to go ahead and allow the Joker to live on the top of the packet or the bottom at the beginning of all of this. So would you like me to replace the top card, I guess it's that one there, with the Joker, or the bottom card, the Ace of Spades? Your choice. You want it to replace the top card. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of nice. J for Jack and J for Joker. Okay, very good. Now, we're going to deal out the cards here into two piles with stacking decided by you, the spectator. Would you like left on right? Left on right. Note to you as the performer, you can do one of these left-right dealings with random stacking decided by the spectator, or 20 of them. Whatever number you would like. That is actually the case. You can actually deal out into four piles like this as many times as the spectator would like, with random stacking of either the top row on the bottom or vice versa, bottom on top, and random stacking here. Okay, do one of those or several if you would like, or the spectator would like. We'll deal out into two piles, but not stacked this time. Okay, so here we go. And now this is where we really ramp up the number of choices and important choices that you'll be making. Okay, so we're going to mix each of these halves differently. Well, at least we can if you would like to. So for example, I'm going to perform something called the Klondike Shuffle. And I can perform it once or several times on each of these packets. And we can perform it a different number of times if you would like. It really is your choice. So how many times should I perform the Klondike Shuffle on this one? Just once? Okay. That's fine. So here's the Klondike Shuffle. You take the top and bottom cards off as one. That's the Klondike Shuffle. Okay. How many times should we perform it on the second packet? Just twice? Okay, that's fine. But just know that you can perform it more times than that if the spectator chooses. It won't hurt anything that you hope to accomplish as the performer. Okay, let's go ahead and have you randomly stack these. You want right on left? Okay, and then from here I'm going to give it something called a Charlier Shuffle, and I can add a link in the description below to this powerful shuffle, Charlier Shuffle. Okay, now perhaps the most important decision of this entire performance here is I need you to randomly cut the cards and complete the cut. Okay, so you come in here and cut some number of cards, complete the cut. Okay. Now to finish, I'm going to deal out the cards into four piles, but we won't stack them this time, okay? Into four piles like this, okay? And then we could even have you get in here and kind of mix the cards within each of the piles if you would like, okay? Just kind of mix them up. That way, just no way anyone could know anything about these cards here. Their order, or what's even in the packets themselves. Okay, well, I have a written prediction off to the side that we can take a look at. I don't know what we could possibly predict that would come true regarding all of this mixing that you've done. Let's see. Each pile of four cards will consist of two even value cards and two odd value cards. Okay, so there'll be kind of a perfect symmetry between even and odd. We'd call that parity symmetry. Okay, is that true? How likely is that? Well, let's just take a look at this one here. So see, two even and two odd. Well, there's an even, odd, even, odd. Okay, we're doing well here. What about this one here? See, even, odd, even, odd. Okay, we've done it there as well. What about this one? Even, odd, odd, even. It's amazing. Okay, so 3 for 3. Let's check the last one here. Oh, wait a second. We have a joker here. I've kind of almost forgotten that. Okay, so we have let's just check this here. Maybe perhaps I wasn't supposed to use the joker in this. What's that? Oh, wait. Except for, okay, so each of these piles will have 2 even value cards and 2 odd, except for what? Oh, of course, the pile containing the joker. I mean, that couldn't, unless you designate the joker as an even value card or an odd, which I don't think anyone has ever done. That's interesting. What? Oh, okay, there's more as well. Which the joker will be paired with, okay, this is interesting, 2 even value cards and 1 odd. Okay, what are the chances of that as well? Okay, here's the joker. So what is it, 2 even? Going off the screen here, 2 even. So here's an odd, here's an even, and an even. Okay, looks like we did it. 2 even and an odd. We absolutely nailed our written prediction. Okay, so how does this work? Well, I'll just show you the setup really quickly, and then you just do everything that I did. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. What you need is, you need 8 even value cards, and you need 8 odd value cards. Okay, and we can even kind of mix up the colors a little bit just so that they will look a bit more, quote, random when we combine things. Okay, so this is just part of a quick setup. These are all odd valued. So what you need to do is place the odd value cards on top of the even. Now we're going to use a very clever mixing procedure by Warner Miller, okay? And it's a way to convert this packet here into what's called a Quasi-Bessey sequence of order 16. And I will add a link in the description below to a playlist where you can learn about Bessey sequences, Quasi-Bessey sequences, as we're using here, and many applications of these powerful packet structures. Okay, so I've done this triangle, and then we just finish with a mange over, under, like that. Okay, now it's going to be in the right organization, okay, that we showed you there at the very beginning. Okay, so I'm not sure what's best. You could show this at the beginning like I did. The spectator is really not going to see anything, or not show them. Just say you have 16 psychic cards that you've chosen. Okay, and so the first choice was we allowed them to replace the top card or the bottom with the joker. Okay, now part of the secret is the top card will be here an odd value card, as will the bottom. So it doesn't matter which one it replaces. So maybe we'll replace it with the ace, okay? And then you just go through and do everything that I did. You deal out into 2 piles, random stacking, do that once or many, many times, won't hurt anything. Deal out into 4 piles, random stack the top row or the bottom with random left-right stacking, okay? And then, if you remember, we did this kind of dealing out into 2 piles like this. Well, the secret is each of these is a Bessey sequence of order 8. And so what that means then is you can perform, well, hundreds of mixing procedures and not harm these, but we want to keep them, quote, in sync. Namely, for example, we need the top card of each to be of opposite parity. Okay, so that's what we'll need when we randomly stack these. Okay, but the point I'd like to make is the Klondike shuffle preserves that. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many Klondike shuffles you perform, it won't hurt the overall structure here. Notice that that's still even. Okay, and then this one was odd, right, for the parity of the top card. Okay, so you can Klondike shuffle each of these a different number of times if you like. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then the spectator's free to randomly stack these. Now here's what's new that I really have never shown explicitly on my channel, is the fact that we're going to now, because we've never done this really, we're going to perform a Charlier shuffle on a Quasi-Bessey sequence. Okay, now in general, a packet cut, unless it's like a 50% cut, will undermine the structure of the Quasi-Bessey sequence. But it actually preserves a very important property when it comes to dealing out the cards into 4 piles, as we'll see. Okay, and then I even give you the chance to randomly cut it. Okay, so that's something that you normally cannot do with these packets, these Bessey sequence packets or Quasi-Bessey sequence packets. And then you just deal out into 4 piles, as we showed you. Okay. And then if I have made a mistake, each of these should have 2 even and 2 odd in them. So 2 even, 2 odd here, and of course we'll have one with the joker. 2 even, 2 odd. Joker here, but it will be paired with 2 even and an odd, which is what the written prediction said. And then this will be a 2 even, 2 odd. Okay, that's the kind of secret. If you want to understand the mathematics, take a look at the playlists in the description below. And I appreciate you watching and encourage you to take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.